I'm quite hopeful that you understand this presentation. What you see on the screen is something that I believe that those of you that are self-employed can relate to this process. And our government now in this present time in the United States of America, and this is a nationwide presentation for Americans and those outside of America if they choose to take advantage of it. But there's quite a few people losing their jobs in cities such as the one you see here, where they go into work and they're finding out that they no longer have a job and they're going to become self-employed or unemployed. But what this presentation is about is to introduce you to the self-employment process that this company has. You can see the name of the company up under the income says self-employment income benefits. Well, the name of the company is Wealth Transfer Alliance, and that's going to introduce you later on to this process of $84.4 trillion being transferred, and you as a self-employed individual can take part in that practice and that opportunity. At the bottom, you see how you become a part of the company. You can enroll by going to W.T.A, which stands for Wealth Transfer Alliance, employmentform.com, and you physically can enroll in W.T.A and become an advocate in W.T.A. Or you can call the phone number right above. That's where it says call and or visit 301-328-4186.com. You can become familiar with what the company does. Now look, we are not trying to entice you. I'm only trying to present this to you to show you that regardless of the city that you're located in, it doesn't matter. If you're self-employed, doctor, lawyer, cosmetologist, trash collector, whatever it is that you do, landscaper, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to introduce this to you to show you that the thumbnail that you saw, I hope you go back and study the thumbnail, because the thumbnail is real. I'm also going to present something to you to show you what you can do as a self-employed individual and the kind of income that you can make. I've been self-employed now for quite a while. I've got an extensive educational background, but I've been now since 1984 self-employed, and I can tell you that it's a blessing that you can perhaps know if you are self-employed. Now look, this is what we're talking about. Major medical coverage at group rates for self-employed individuals. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these slides, because you can stop this video and study them for yourself. But look down at the bottom in the black. It has no prevented ways for you not to become a part of this process. No height requirement, no weight requirement, no tobacco requirement. You can use tobacco as much as you like. You can have type 2 diabetes, and no, if you have it, I pray God that you don't. And no pre-existing conditions that will prevent you from getting started with this process. All right, so it's designed specifically for self-employed individuals. And if you're now currently employed and you're going to become self-employed, or you're self-employed and would like to take advantage of the opportunities that we're presenting here, then do that. The only primary requirement is that you have to be between 18 years of age and 64. If you fall between those two ages, then you qualify for everything that we're going to be talking about in this process we're going. Now look, popular self-employment jobs. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on information like this. It's just to show you what category you may or may not fall in. But that one piece of information that's on here is the W.T.A benefits.com. That's going to take you to a form. That form is going to enable you to put on correct information, your name, your email address, or phone number. Everything has to be in line and tell the truth. And then we're going to submit that information to companies like Blue Cross Blue Shield and other health insurance companies that's going to get you the benefit that we're talking about, or you having health insurance at a group rate. Now, if you have health insurance, that's fine. If it's at a group rate, that's fine. But you may want to submit the information just in case that the rate, the money that you're going to be spending is going to be far less than what you're now spending, or less than what you anticipated it would be. Doesn't really matter. We do want you to submit your correct information in order for you to become part of this process. 100% required verifiable information must be provided at WTAbenefits.com. And you're going to be then given information for yourself to show you how you're going to qualify for the benefits that we're talking about you getting, okay? This is just the information to show you what category you may or may not fall in with the top 25 self-employment jobs that pay well. Well, we don't believe that you're going to find a self-employment job that pay you any better than what W.T.A is going to pay you once you get an understanding of what W.T.A is all about. To do that, make sure you pay attention to all the information that we presented. All right, I'm not going to stop this information and try to give you information that you can do for yourself. Just stop the video and you see the drop down button, then you can get that information from the information that you see on the screen. Everything that you see is available for you to get as much information about it as you possible. It's got, for example, what jobs can you do for yourself? But click the little drop down button, it'll give you what can I legally work for myself. Drop that down and it'll give you all the information. Okay, so let's move on because we got a long way to go. Now here we're give me your attention. That's a website that's we're asking you to give us your attention about the information that you see. This is a let's get started form that we're talking about. When you go to WTAbenefits.com, it's going to bring you to this form. It's also giving information. The W.T.A enrollment form is to show you how you want to enroll in W.T.A to be a self-employed individual. Now, we're going to explain that as we go through the process. But looking at the Let's Get Started form on the left side, that's the type of information that we are asking you for. John Doe's name, the phone number, the email address, the age, what state you live in, and yes, I'm self-employed. We are looking for self-employed person. We don't want you to submit information to us and you be employed telling us that you're self-employed. But now, persons like myself, I am employed for myself. So I would put self-employed there. All right, and then down there you have to have a wealth transfer agency advocate or an affiliate to be a part of the process. That's something else, and you want to submit the form. Make sure you study these information so you can see for yourself what we're talking about. And I'm going to go through this process, I told you, quite fast, because all of the information that we're presenting would take me too long to present this for you, take up too much of your time when you can do this on your leisure time. Stop it and study it for yourself, because everything in here is true for you to get an understanding about what we're talking about. All right? List the top careers for self-employed individuals. Well, that that's really not something that I really want to discuss with you. I just want to give you the information, because having a career as a self-employed individual may not be something that you may, because now you may be a rocket scientist, and tomorrow you may not be a rocket scientist, but you want to start something else for yourself and carry on. These data here, for example, for self-employment, is to give you kind of ideas what self-employment persons has earned. You can look down and see the kind of information for yourself as a self-employed individual. Now, we at W.T.A far exceed any of the incomes that you see here. All you have to do is just take advantage of what W.T.A is offering you, and you'll see that many of the income that's listed on this chart here is far less than what you can earn as a self-employed individual with W.T.A. But back to this process here. Here's where you get started. I'm going to take a little time on this slide. Let's get started is the way you get into it. Franklin A. Doe is the name of the person that we're using in this case. His phone number 1-800-301-328-486. His email address, his age, what state he's living in. Yes, you want to drop that drop down. Let us know if you're self-employed. Well, as a matter of fact, if you're not self-employed, why even bother about it? Because this data is just for the persons that we self-employed. Then down at the bottom, you put your name, the name of the person who told you about this. My name is David Richardson, just to give you an idea. So please share 100% free Let's Get Started form with as many other self-employed people as you can possibly as you possibly can. It may be quite rewarding for you to obtain group rate health insurance. In other words, when we click the submit button, Then you will submit it to the Blue Cross Blue Shield and all the other companies that's involved with letting you have the group rate insurance. Okay, now the person on the left is just to give an idea to show that he's self-employed, but he's with his child fixing about a meal for his child. Now let's look at the information in the center before I move on. Self-employed individuals must call us now for us to complete this form for you. We're going to complete it for you and with you. If you call us, you can leave the information on the process that we have for you to leave us a message. We're going to take that information that you leave on our answering service or with our support staff if we're closed, and then we're going to put that information on the form and submit it. Okay, that's how we get involved with you as a person on this. And we will complete our W.T.A. Let's Get Started form for you as soon as you call us for you to get paid. And we're going to show you in a few minutes how we're talking about you getting paid. All of the verifiable information must be provided in order to avoid rejection. Yes, we will reject you if you tell us something that's not true. But in the meantime, I want to thank you in advance for sending us your reply for you to get started. And we're going to click the submit button for you to go on to higher grounds. And we know that. Now look, here's what we was talking about a few minutes ago. This is what you saw as our thumbnail, and this is our thumbnail that we're using to show you how all 6 of the squares that you see, all 6 reasons listed below are means to add thousands of dollars to you. We're going to show you that in a few minutes, but this is for self-employed benefits. And when you go to W.T.A. benefits.com, it's going to bring you to your Let's Get Started form for you to get started. And once you get started, the health insurance that you are going to get is of this process. And all 6 of these data is for you. Now look at number 6, because that's what we're talking about after you get paid. Workers will receive a small K1. Well, a K1 is a K1. It doesn't have a size. It looks just the size as any other schedules, and Schedule K1 is a schedule. But what we're talking about here to let you know that the federal tax form will be sent to you as a person that's receiving income from Wealth Transfer Alliance. But make sure that you study this information and get as much information as you can. And we will then also give you information that once you complete the form, then you will get that information. Now look, here is an illustration of the types of incomes that a self-employed individual can receive. These are the pay benefits. You can receive a monthly income similar to what you see here. This is just an illustration, not an enticement, but an illustration to show you if you apply yourself as a self-employed individual and you got 1,000 other people out of a pool of say 8 or 10 million, then you would have an income such as this. And presently, as you know, what we're getting from these cable news and all the news outlets in America today is that there are persons that are losing their jobs that are now employed, that were employed, that perhaps are going to become self-employed. And the self-employed benefit illustration table here is just to show you what you can earn if you're one of those persons or you're not one of those persons and you already are self-employed. But this is just an example to give you an idea as to what you can get simply by becoming a part of this process and complete the form that we're giving you. Now, this is an online education. It really is an online education because I don't know if you've seen it in the past, but if you've not seen it, then it is an education. And you can call 301-580-6423, 301-580-6423, and you're going to get an individual. And that individual then will give you information about the process. But the process that you're getting here is for additional information, because if you don't complete the Let's Get Started form, it won't be a need to call, because it will be a waste of your time and a waste of our time unless you let us complete the form for you or you complete it for yourself. Either way, then you want to call if you need additional information. Now here's just information for statistics to show you what you can accomplish and how many self-employed workers there are in America. And this is maps of America to give you an idea of how many people that there are in counties throughout America that are self-employed, and also the cities within the county, the cities within the counties are also where those persons are. And this is just to give you a glimpse as to what you can achieve by becoming a part of Wealth Transfer Alliance as a self-employed or employed in the person. If you employed, you can also set up means showing it, but with this information that we're presenting at this time is simply for the self-employed jobs that we have. I'm going to cough because I'm talking. Okay, now thank you. Excuse me. 1-301-328-4186 is a nationwide number. Well, it's actually a worldwide number because it truly is an operation for our company and our support department. So we get calls from all over the world. This is a worldwide phone number in the 301 area code where we are located, but we get calls from persons all over the world, and those calls, just like your call, are being answered by our staff. Top 20 self-employment jobs is some of these data that's here. Now, I'm going to go flash through this because all I'm doing in this part of this presentation is giving you information about various types of self-employment information. Self-employment jobs for adults are more likely to like health insurance. If you like health insurance, then you want to take a part of this. If you don't have health insurance, or if you have health insurance, it really doesn't matter. We want you to take a look at this because of the rates, the low rates that you're going to encounter as a result of becoming a part of W.T.A. Okay. Now, listen. This is in the conclusion. W.T.A. benefits. It's 19 benefits that you can see. This is 12. But we're going to one more slide, and you'll see that the 19 benefits that we're talking about for Wealth Transfer Alliance. And this is all about self-employed benefits. May be too much information, may not be enough. What we're recommending for you to make sure you study each one so that you can understand the process. We got the blockchain here because AI is here, and there are quite a few self-employment jobs through AI. And as a self-employment person with an AI operation, you still can have health insurance. All your qualifications here is to complete that form, regardless of what your self-employment affiliation is. You still can qualify to become a part. So self-employment and corporate benefits is an $84.4 trillion technology that we are using to show you how to benefit as an affiliate with Wealth Transfer Alliance. So we're not going to spend a lot of time, but we are talking about you having certain types of technology. Now, you're going to see me and introduce myself to you, but I am an accountant. I've worked on my master's degree in accounting. I set for the CPA. I have a background in management information systems. I have a background in business law. So I'm quite capable of working with you, regardless of who you are, to get you where you want to be in order for you to have the kinds of lifestyle that we're talking about with Wealth Transfer Alliance. You can enroll in Wealth Transfer Alliance, and I recommend you do that because you're going to become a business. And you can do that at WTAenrollmentform.com. And once you become a business, and you have to have a business in the tax system in the United States in order for you to lower your liability. And you see the gavel, make sure you study the gavel, because what we're talking about on that, as an accountant, I'm telling you that if you file in a tax return in America, you need one of three things, or all three, on your tax return in order for you to lower your liability. And there are people, there are property, or rental properties, property or property, business or businesses. And you need those three categories on your tax return to reduce your tax liability. And that's all that's being presented in this process, is to show you what you're going to need if you decide to do what we're recommending you do. Now, here is the process where we just left. The self-employed agency billing agency amount. You want to become an agency builder. That's the platform that's being used by Wealth Transfer Alliance. And the self-employed agency builder advocate or builder model is that ABAB, and that's for the self-employed agency builder and the advocate builder. So as an advocate, you are going to be paid 10 ways. As an advocate, W.T.A. pay the advocates 10 ways in the company. And a self-employed advocate, as I said earlier, is the most important thing that you want to get information about, because you are self-employed. See, an advocate is a self-employed individual. So an advocate qualifies as a person that's a reciprocal of the health insurance, because what we're talking about are self-employed individuals. However, if an advocate is an employee of some company or somewhere else, an employee, then the advocate would not want to complete our form, because that advocate would be employed, notwithstanding the fact that they're also self-employed. So it's a win-win either way you go, okay? So within the United States, we would like for you to call 301-328-4186, as I said earlier. It's a worldwide phone number, but our support staff is the answer. Now, this is David Richardson. You can see who I am. You can see my accomplishments in the red, and I'm telling you that God is my plan A. I have several plans. Money is my plan B, but I also have a plan C, plan D, plan E. What am I working on? I set myself to, as God is my leader, and then I apply what He's given me to do whatever it is I'm doing, and I do a lot of things with what I have to do with what I have accomplished, and they're allowing me to do what I do. Okay, my income tax video, make sure you visit that. That's going to introduce you to what we're talking about. It's the bottom, but it's going to introduce to you to what you see at the top. Wealth Transfer Alliance technology is what that's going to introduce you to, the technology that Wealth Transfer is using, giving you a personal demonstration for you to show you how to do what we're doing. That's all. Now, in conclusion of this, I haven't been with you 25 minutes yet, so it's a very short presentation, but you make sure you use it for your betterment. It's going to enhance whatever you do. If you're self-employed, then consider adding another bank account because if you got one business as a self-employed individual, you may want to add another business, because of the information that I showed you on the gavel is that you need people, property or properties, business or businesses, so that you can't have too many businesses. You really can't. The more business that you got, the more you're gonna perhaps produce. Look at General Motors in America. General Motors in America got several different divisions, and each division is a business within General Motors. GMAC, Cadillac, Chevrolet. You see what I'm talking about? Different kinds of businesses within your business. So I had to clear my throat again, but I'm sorry, I'm concluding this. I want you to have a good day. I want to thank you for letting me spend so much of your valuable time in this presentation, and I hope you use the information for your betterment and for your family's betterment, and then share this information with as many people as possible, even the employed, the self-employed, those that you don't know of. The more you share it, you're going to share it with someone going to fit in one of the two categories, an employee or someone, or a self-employed individual by themselves. And if the person is already an employee and they want to set up a self-employment service, they can do that for themselves. But the most important thing I want you to do is to consider making sure that you go to W.T.A. benefits so you can complete the Let's Get Started form for you to become a well-paid and person that's going to receive group rate health insurance. That's number one, because you never know. Excuse me. You never know when you're going to need health insurance. And if you got it already paid, you can then use it if there's a need. And we never know when we're going to need it. It's just something that we have to have in our hand. It's a risk factor, but yet and still, I'd rather have it and need it and not to have it and need it. Thank you for watching this. Bye-bye. This is Dave Richardson. Share this with as many people as possible. and self-employed and employed. Bye-bye.